Hi friends, we're going to do a science lesson today on the beginning of spring and what happens during springtime. I'm sure you've been noticing lots of different things happening outside. So let's read a book and then we're going to take a little walk in my yard and see what kinds of things we can find. And then it's spring. So this little boy is outside in his scarf. Looks pretty wintry out there. First you have brown. All around you have brown. Then there are seeds. And a wish for rain. And then it rains. And it is still brown, but hopeful, a very possible sort of brown. I hope you guys have been going outside also. Just like this little boy in his boots and his raincoat. And is that a little green? No, it's just a brown, sort of brown. Then it's a week. So the little boy looks like he's not wearing his hat and his scarf anymore, so maybe it's getting warmer. And you worry about those little seeds. The tree still looks brown, and the ground still looks brown. And if maybe it was the birds, what are the birds doing? Looks like they want the seeds, don't they? Oh my goodness, bears. Or maybe it was the bears and all that stomping, because bears can't read signs that say things like, please don't stomp here, there are seeds, and they are trying. And then there is one more week. Let's look at this bush over here. Looks like maybe something's happening on that bush. And the brown, still brown, has a greenish hum that you can only hear if you put your ear to the ground and close your eyes. It looks like some of the creatures under the ground are waking up. I like this part of the picture. And then comes one more week. Looks like the boy is wearing short sleeves. Oh, I see the sun. And a sunny day. The sunny day that happens right after that rainy day. And then you walk outside to check on all that brown. But the brown isn't around, and now you have green. All around you have green. It's a little bit chilly, so I bundled up and we're gonna walk around the yard and see what kinds of signs of spring we can find. This tree is getting some really pretty blossoms on it. They're pink. So this tree is going to have flowers. If I walk over to this tree over here, nothing's happening. Oh, when I get closer. So this is called a redbud tree, and now you can sort of see why. In a little while, I think these guys will also be blooming. Can you hear the birds? I hear lots of spring sounds. And this pear tree that I have in my backyard is also starting to bloom. So tiny signs of spring. This bush right here has all sorts of new little blossoms on it, or green leaf buds. But the one next to it is still dormant. This is a kind of an ivy or a ground covering called myrtle, and it always has these beautiful purple flowers. And you can also see that there are new sprouts growing on it. So that's a sign of spring. My daffodils are blooming. And this plant is starting to grow some flowers. Here's another sign. This plant, which is called lamb's ear, which has sort of fuzzy leaves on it when it's blooming. These are starting to bloom again. And all this dead stuff is kind of falling off and rotting, and it will help the soil to be stronger for the new plants that are growing. There are even things happening inside. In my windowsill in my kitchen, my orchids are starting to bloom. Here's one that's got really pretty yellow flowers on it, and this one hasn't opened up yet. I don't remember what color it is. And then if I go over here, this one has beautiful purple flowers. So in the spring, even my indoor flowers know that it's time to bloom. So I'm wondering what kinds of things you guys are noticing in your yards. I want you to go outside and do some nature detective work and see what you can find. Listen and look and see what sorts of signs of spring you can find in your own yard. I'm going to attach a little checklist, a Google Doc that has lots of ideas on it, so you guys can go outside and be nature detectives, spring detectives, and see what kinds of things you're noticing. See you next time.